Hi girls, I'm going to show you how to do a nice bronzed makeup with using a nice amount of intensity but also highlight for contrast, which suits everybody. But if you think the warmth of the browns don't suit you, then you need to go for more cool browns. So more greyish, pinkish browns rather than orangey red browns. So I'm starting with the Clarins Beauty Flash Balm, which I'm using as a primer and to add dewiness. So I'm avoiding the T-zone. And I'm also going to spritz the Max Fix Plus spray, which does a similar job and also increases the longevity of your makeup. So once that's dried a little bit, I'm going to apply the Mercier Tinted Moisturiser just with my fingers. And then before that's had time to dry, I'm going to go in with my illuminating concealer from Yves Saint Laurent in number 2, just to brighten and correct that discoloration I've got around my mouth, and then pat that in with my finger. And then for my face concealing, a colour that matches my true skin tone, I'm using just a little brush to apply it to around the nose, any red areas and a couple of blemishes that I've got. And then for under my eyes, to lift and correct that greyness that I have around my eyes, I'm using the Peach Corrector from Bobbi Brown with the small brush, just applying short strokes underneath my eyes, anywhere where I have greyness, which is also a little bit on the inner corner of my upper lid. And then you can also use your fingers to blend it in. And then for the outer corner of my eyes, which is not so much a greyness but a redness that I'm correcting with my skin tone concealer. And then on top of that, I'm going to brighten the area with my, again, with my illuminating concealer by Yves Saint Laurent. And then just pat that in again with my fingers. So it's just a really invisible way to create light to the face. So placement is going to vary for different face shapes, but I like to especially highlight just above the bridge of my nose, which helps make my nose look flatter and the bump less obvious, but also creating space between the eyes, so separating the eyes and just generally creating light in the eye area. And here I'm mixing the peach tone number 3 with the neutral tone number 2 around the mouth to correct the discoloration. And then just brushing through the brows, I'm using a warm toned brow pencil, mainly just to fill in the sparse areas where I have a lack of hair. And then to colour the actual hairs, I'm going in with a similar toned brow gel. And that's also going to keep my hairs in place because I've got quite curly eyebrows. And then gently priming my lids with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. I'm going to then go in with the bronzer that I'm going to use later on my face, just to map out the shape of my crease, and that's with the MAC 217 eyeshadow brush. I'm also going to use a smaller brush to bring the same colour underneath all the way across. And then to get that really rich, deep colour that I want to achieve, I'm going to layer a few different tones. This one's more light reflective and warmer, so more red. Same placement on the upper crease and lower lash line. And then for extra definition, I'm going to use this darker colour Antiqued with a rounded brush for easy blending, and just set back anywhere that I want to deepen on my crease. Because we're doing quite a darker smoky look, I can afford to set back the inner corner of my upper crease there because I have a little bit of puffiness. And then bringing that underneath as well. And then using a thin brush for my gel eyeliner from Bobbi Brown in Caviar ink, which is a black brown. And I want to keep quite a fair amount of space on my lid, so keeping the center of the lid fairly bare and focusing on the outer and inner corners and the flick for that cat eye effect. And then bringing the outer corner of the liner down ever so slightly just at the very edge. And then using a nude pencil to line the inner waterline, which is going to keep my eyes looking bright and open. And it's also going to create a nice contrast between the dark smokiness we've got and the brightness of your eyes. And then that first bronzer that we used on the eyes, using as a warm contour on the cheekbones, the jawline and the forehead. Also the front of the nose, which will diminish the bridge I have a little bit. And on the upper lip, just where I have a lot of space. And then using that redder bronzer that we also used on the eyes on the higher points of the face, so to mimic where you would naturally get a suntan. So curling the lashes to prepare them for false lashes, and then a thin coat of mascara. I like this thin wand by Bobbi Brown because you can get right down to the roots of your lashes. So I've got the glue there in spots on the lid, and I just dip the tip of the individual lash into the glue, wait about 15 seconds for the glue to go tacky, and then the key to the individual lashes is getting them at exactly the right angle as you're placing them on the very root of the lash. Otherwise they can easily look wonky and out of place, but if done properly they're the most natural way to have fluttery lashes. Just a really light powder across the concealing work and my T-zone. And then using the Lustre drops as a highlighter, just on the highest point of my cheeks and also a dot in the inner corner. And then patting that in. And then for the lips, I'm just going to do a light golden gloss. And then to sharpen the edges of my lip, I'm just going to use the No. 7 Nude pencil, which just matches my lip tone beautifully. And then now that the glue on our lashes have dried completely, I'm just going to dot over any white spots with the gel eyeliner again. And you can also put a second coat of mascara here. And there's the look. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.